Episode 50. Shh, I've got a secret.
This is the One Extraordinary Marriage podcast, home of the 7 Days of Sex Challenge, featuring your hosts, the authors of the groundbreaking new book, Stripped Down, Tony and Alisa DiLorenzo.
Welcome back to One Extraordinary Marriage, where we talk about life, love, and the pursuit of intimacy. You're here with Alisa DiLorenzo.
And Tony DiLorenzo.
And this is episode 50.
It is.
This is a milestone for us and for many of you that have been with us for quite some time.
For 50 episodes.
Some of you have been around for 50 episodes. And quite honestly, 50 episodes ago, I wasn't sure we would be here.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
It's fun to celebrate that this week. We've had a busy week.
Had a very busy week.
Yeah.
But before we get into that,
yeah.
I want to play this audio.
Okay.
Or this voice message, because this is sort of the icing on the cake for episode 50.
Okay, go for it.
Hi, Tony and Alisa. My name is Lester.
And this is Reagan. And we were calling to let you guys know that we did it. On November 2nd, we completed our 60-day challenge.
60 days.
I'd like to thank you guys for helping us through and all the support that you gave us. And we would also like to just say thanks so much for doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. We're calling from Dallas, Texas.
Awesome.
And I just want to let you know that we went from loving roommates to loving lovers, and trust me, it shows.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Wow.
Lester and Reagan, that's awesome.
God bless you guys.
Yeah, I remember I think you guys sent us a message right before you were getting ready to start, or maybe a few days after you had started the challenge, and we offered you encouragement. We were so excited that you were embarking on this, and then to hear that you've done it.
Isn't
Congratulations.
This awesome? I'm tickled.
Congratulations. And
I'm just tickled to have another couple out there who's listened to us and has done it. And Lester said it. I thought he said it perfectly. It was loving roommates to loving lovers.
It's huge.
And gosh, that's what it's about.
I mean, what a shift in your marriage. What a shift in your attitudes towards each other. And congratulations, guys. I mean, there's really nothing else to say except that you've totally changed the landscape of your marriage.
And for those of you who are thinking about doing it, get on it. Get on it. It's never too late. And for another, we did it. We got one in from Becca and John from Arkansas. They also completed, I'm assuming this would be a 7-day, because that's what we love for you guys to call in, is when you do a 7 days. So congratulations, Becca and John, for taking on the 7-day challenge and doing it and emailing us. We totally appreciate it. Thank you.
Congratulations to both of you couples, and thank you for
sharing with the community. For
sharing that, for giving people hope that you can, as a busy couple in today's world, you can make intimacy a priority, and you can, whether you challenge yourself to 7 days or 60 days like Lester and Reagan, you can do this.
You can.
And your marriage will be better for it. So congratulations to both couples. And to those of you out there that haven't called in, you can always reach us at 858-876-5663. We'd love to hear from you if you did it, or if you just have something else to say that you want to share.
Yeah, please
the lines
do.
are open anytime. So are we going to talk about our week?
Let's go for it.
Okay. We had date night.
An awesome date night.
Awesome date night.
Went to Del Mar. It was my week, or my month, to take the lead.
Yes, it was.
As many of you know, Alisa's making this shift to a gluten-free lifestyle and is feeling really good. Would you say? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Overall,
I can definitely tell.
She is really feeling good, and it's making a difference in her attitude. It's making a difference in her skin, which then makes a difference in how we are able to relate to each other. Like, if I want to kiss her, she doesn't shoo me away, or it's sort of give me these eyes of not again, Tony. So,
and it wasn't so much you, it was that my face gets
the irritation.
It gets
just
very
caused.
Irritated, and even the lightest touch.
Right, my little Fu Manchu.
Yes.
Would ruffle you.
Yes.
So
date night.
So anyways, thinking about her and what she's trying to do. So I went up on Twitter, and I know this gal here at Erica Biz, who is a gluten-free gal here in San Diego, and just hit her up and said, hey, you know, what are some places in the Solana Beach, Del Mar area? She gave us this, or she tweeted back, this fantastic Chinese cuisine, and it was good.
Yeah, so the name of the restaurant is Rendezvous.
Rendezvous Del Mar.
Rendezvous Del Mar, and it's Asian fusion cooking.
Right on PCH. And obviously on a day where the sun's out, we would probably, I think we might have been able to catch the coast, although that hotel is right there in front of it. So I don't know.
we still could have seen the sunset.
The sunset.
If it was warmer.
Right.
It was too cold for me to sit outside, but it was very cute because Tony, you know.
It was too cold, but last night we slept naked. And we didn't turn up the heat either.
Okay, that's another email that we'll get to.
Yeah.
We're still talking about date night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing happened on date night other than we ate.
I know, but I want to tell them about you planning date night.
Oh, okay.
So earlier in the week, Tony had said, do you want to know where you're going? And I said, no, surprise me. And so we get in the car and we're driving out to Del Mar, and we've eaten in a number of restaurants in Del Mar. So I'm like, oh, I wonder where we're going. And we walk into this new place, Rendezvous, a new place for us. And we sit down and they hand us our menus. And Tony's got this little grin on his face. And I'm trying to figure out you're like, you know, you've already proposed. We're way past that. So I know it's not like I'm bringing out the ring. And he's like, look at the top of the menu. And at the top of the menu, it says, we proudly serve gluten-free and vegetarian meals. Please ask for an alternative menu. And so I was thrilled that he had gone to so much trouble to find a gluten-free restaurant. And then I was thrilled when they brought out the gluten-free menu. And it was very extensive.
It was both sides.
It was both sides of a, 11 by 17 menu. Yeah. Cardboard, whatever.
What I liked was that it was obviously foods that were on their menu, but it was just broken out so you could see them.
Right.
Much easier than trying to have to figure it out yourself.
Well, and from what I could gather looking at their menu was that they took some of their regular recipes and created them gluten-free versions.
Yes.
And it was very nice because Tony obviously is not going gluten-free right now. But he picked an entree that was on both menus. And they asked him if he wanted his made gluten-free so that I could also share it. We did. I didn't share it, but.
Yeah, because I got the curry.
You got the curry. I'm not a big fan of curries.
You're not a big fan of the spice.
But the food was phenomenal. So if you ever wow, you're just full of yourself tonight. Holy cow.
It's episode 50.
Please, if you ever worry if Tony has an ego problem, he doesn't. He has so much self-confidence, it just sometimes bubbles over, and so whatever. He has to share it with all of you.
There are times when I have self-confidence issues.
Yeah, not recently.
Oh, whatever.
So we had a fantastic date night, and then Saturday night, I was online checking my Leah Sophia account, my business account, and got the official notification that I had earned the trip for two to Puerto Rico.
Which, if you guys didn't know, because we haven't talked about this, they have sales goals. And Alisa, she met the goals and earned a trip for both of us to go to Puerto Rico next spring, which is just...
So April of 2011, Tony and I will be taking our first ever tropical vacation without children. We will be staying in a very nice hotel.
Some nice hotel.
Yeah, we're staying at the Wyndham Rio Del Mar in Puerto Rico. And
the cool thing is that we're going to go see all the relatives, the ancestors, because Alisa's dad...
The ancestors.
Alisa's dad is Puerto Rican and came from the island. So we're going to go see all the family.
This was a big trip for me to earn, and this was something that when they announced, because they announced the company trip, a year ago, they announced this Puerto Rico trip. And so when it first came out, it was a trip that I really wanted to earn. Mm-hmm. Because I do still have family in Puerto Rico. I've never been. My parents have not been since their honeymoon. And we've always just heard about it. And, it was one of those things where halfway through the sales period, I wasn't sure I was going to make it. And so I stopped looking at my numbers. And then we actually got a text on Thanksgiving saying, unofficially, it looks like you made it, from one of my upline managers. And I'm thinking, I actually wrote her back and said, I think you have the wrong person. Happy Thanksgiving, but I think you sent this to the wrong person. She's like, nope, I'm looking at your numbers. And so I've just been waiting for the official word, but it's been a great year with Leah Sophia, and very excited. Last year I earned the trip
To Cancun.
to Cancun for one, and I didn't go. Opted to take the cash award instead. But this year, since there are 2 tickets with my name on them,
we are going.
We are going, and this will probably actually be, provided that we don't end up with diesel
fuel.
It'll kind of be like a second honeymoon. If you think about it, I mean, we haven't ever done anything like this.
We haven't. Elisa and I have always been cheap when it comes to these things, and we would just go back.
Technically, we're still going cheap since we're letting Leah Sophia pay for it.
Yeah. I mean, we just have never let go and done stuff like this, even when we didn't have kids. We just didn't. And, as we get older, married 14 years now, 2 kids, it's a little time that we just want to start doing this type of stuff. Mm-hmm. We have some big plans that we've been talking about. You know how we talked about a couple episodes back about setting your goals for 2011. Well, Elisa and I have been talking about where we want to go and what we want to do and the lifestyle we want to have. And one of our big goals in the upcoming year is to really allow Fit Marriage and Leah Sophia start picking up the income. And so that the Dent Dude, my full-time business that I've run now for going on 8 years, isn't the breadwinner, which would allow us, and this is one of our big goals, is we just want a lifestyle change. We want to be able to travel during the summer months for 5 to 6 weeks and go to different places around the world and take our kids with us. It's one of those things that we found on the internet that you can do house swapping, where you would swap with a person in Italy or South America or South Africa or Australia or Canada, and basically you come up with arrangements. You live in their home for a duration of time, and they would live in our home. Well, we live in San Diego, and we sort of feel that that's a pretty big desirable place to come and live. So that's one of our big goals in the upcoming year.
It's just to be able to lay that groundwork.
Yeah, it really is. And it's just, it's fun. It's something we haven't done. And, we're just putting it out there to God too. We're just going, hey, God, this is somewhere we want to go and something we want to do to change people's lives and ours and our kids. And just putting it out there. It's a big, audacious goal.
We're starting with this first earned trip.
Right.
Being able to take off in April. And
now, it's not for 6 weeks or anything, but you know what? It's a start.
Well, we're also not paying for it.
I know.
So that's an added bonus too. So, thank you, Leah Sophia. Big thank you to all of my clients over the last year helping us get that trip. And so date night, we got the trip. Mm-hmm. Then we got a whole bunch of emails.
Well,
Tree.
I want to go back though too. We had a scare about a week or so ago. We had sex, and for those of you who know, and I'm sure we've talked about this before, we use protection
specifically
for the man. And
can you not say?
Well, I don't know. I just figured I just didn't want to say it.
Okay.
And anyways, we were, and I don't want to get too graphic here. Getting too graphic?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. A little unprotected, and just to say, we're cool, but it was a little scary for me. You forgot about it.
I totally forgot about it.
See, and it was like, for me, I was like, oh crap, that was just a big mishaps there, and I'm like, son of a gun. I hope we don't get pregnant.
You're good.
I know. Thank you.
You're breathing a little easier today.
I am.
Okay.
So if there's too much information there, sorry.
No, I reined you back in before you totally jumped off the deep end.
Okay. And for all of you who liked my bearskin robe from last week.
Bearskin rug, silk robe.
Yeah, bearskin rug, silk robe. Thank you. Lots of great ideas, though, for us guys, and I'm going to share them. Towel, come out of the shower, towel wet. Towel wrapped around your waist, wet. I had a number of ladies mention just the jeans with the tight white shirt on, boots. Very nice. I like that. Just naked. Liked it. Okay. So appreciate those. I still think something
Don't worry, honey. I'll get you a silk robe for Christmas. Maybe a bearskin rug if I can find one.
I don't want either now. Everybody was making fun of me.
I know, but they might get a laugh out of it if you have to tell them that that's what you got for Christmas.
Take a picture of it.
Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
There you go.
All right. Tree.
Yeah, we got the Christmas tree.
We did. This is our first real Christmas tree since.
I think it's got to be 7 years at least.
I think it was
because we got.
It was definitely the year Andrew.
The year that Andrew died is the year we got the artificial tree.
So that would be it. That would be 6 years.
Okay, so
because Andrew, we're coming up on 6 years on the 14th.
It would be 6 years on the 14th.
Yeah. And I want to make mention for those of you who have gone through the loss of a child, and you do email us. I want you to know that Alisa really takes every single one of those to heart. It is not unlike her or uncommon to see her shed tears for your loss, because my wonderful wife has a heart for this. And one of the big things she does is because 6 years ago, when she was going through this, there wasn't much out there. The people who would talk to us and her during that time was basically like, it'll be okay. It'll all be okay. And now 6 years later, she still feels the pain. And every time you email her, asking her about this, telling her about your loss because you heard our podcast, I think it's episode 4. I just want you to know, she really does feel it. Honey.
Thank you. No, it is. It'll be 6 years on the 14th. So next week, next Tuesday. And
Alex's birthday will be turning 8 on Monday.
Yeah. So Alex's birthday, ever since he was 2, is a bittersweet day for me. Obviously, the excitement of my firstborn being born, but tinged with the memory that night on his second birthday, I went to bed with contractions. Mm-hmm. And I do. I mean, it's been 6 years, and there are obviously some days I don't even think about Andrew, and then there are days where, like yesterday, Abby writes a note to her dad, and in her 5-year-old phonetic spelling, when she lists everybody in the family, she has Andrew on there, because he is very much her big brother, her other big brother, and she has made him very much a real presence in our family. And I do, when I receive messages from you guys, I was reading one the other night, and Tony's like, "What are you reading?" Because I've got tears streaming down my face. And I do. I want you to know that I'm here and that it's okay to reach out, because I didn't really have anyone. Mm-mm. And it's definitely been one of those unexpected blessings that came out of Andrew's life, that I have been able to be there for other women going through this journey of child loss. Shortly after Andrew, about 6 months after Andrew, a very good friend from high school, she lost her daughter. And then another friend from elementary school, within that year, lost her son. And it's been one of those things that, I've become this resource. Not that I was ever, not that I'm the first one that's ever happened to, but I am comfortable talking about it. And if you or someone that you know is going through this, feel free to always pass on my email. You don't even have to ask me first. Just let me know that they might be writing, or, just CC me on the email so that I know. But I'm happy to be a listening ear, because I know all the crazy things that people are going to say. All the things that are going to make you want to sock them or slap them or lash out in anger, because I was there. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we're a resource for you guys.
Definitely
in many different ways. And we've got some emails that came through this week, quite a few. And I just want to go through some of them. Tony was talking about the fact that we slept naked last night, and it's been a little chilly here in San Diego. We've had our heat on for the last couple of weeks. And Juliet from Melbourne,
Australia,
actually, she had been listening to last week's episode, and she did say that turning up the heat is a good idea. Just don't turn it up too early, so that you don't pass
Fall
out
asleep,
on the
yeah.
laptops first. And
But we've been there before.
we,
I
we
know
have.
that.
We have, the house gets all nice and cozy, and the last thing you want to do is like go any further. You're just like, I just want to, like cocoon.
Mm-hmm.
And, she also made some other mentions in her email to me that there could be some other psychological issues going on with my skin.
Mm-hmm.
And that's definitely something I've thought about to some extent. I also have been tracking it for a while and know how hormonally related it is, cyclically related. And so, definitely
With
keeping
the time of the month, yes.
Definitely keeping that in mind about the psychological effects. So I thank you for doing that. And let's see, what else did she say here? Yes, and she was another one that said for Tony to go get one of those ab-hugging soft white T-shirts to go with your jeans.
Yep,
Remember, the crock pot starts simmering way before bedtime. So, Juliet, thank you for sending that email in, and then a special congratulations to Juliet and her husband as they are celebrating 17 years of marriage. So,
amen to
this
that.
Saturday, she had sent this, I believe it's a Saturday coming up. So happy anniversary to them.
Yeah,
so excited
that's awesome,
about that.
you guys.
And then I got another email, and this one deals with in-laws and boundaries. And
Yeah.
Let me just kind of give the synopsis here. But this is a listener who, she and her husband have been married for 12 years. They have 2 kids. And she's caught between her parents and her husband and her children. And it really goes into the fact that they're going away for Christmas with her parents. And her parents want to get her daughter an iPod. But they have already bought her something big for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
The listener. And she'd already told her parents no. That, she's too young. We've got it covered. But her parents have said, we already bought it and we're giving it to the other grandkids. So we want to, keep her included. Her husband feels like they're trying to upstage them and they're giving. And she's stuck, and so she asked us, how do you feel about this? And we've been in similar places.
Yep.
With gifts and holidays and setting boundaries. We haven't exactly had the experience where all of the grandkids are getting the same gift.
Well, on my side of the family, there are only 2 grandkids.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And my kids don't spend time with the other grandkids on the other side of the family at Christmas.
Right.
But there is the very real issue of establishing boundaries with your parents, the children's grandparents.
When it comes to this time
when it comes to this type of gifts and this time of year.
I was going to say we had to do this with my folks after Alex's second Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
We went overboard as parents. My parents as grandparents went overboard. There came a point in time when Alex was just like sitting on the ground.
He walked out of the room.
Yeah, I was going to say he was sitting on the ground. He had no idea what to do, and he just walked out. And it was at that point in time when Alisa and I went, okay, this is stupid. And we realized sort of our mistake as parents,
mm-hmm.
Going overboard for this one time a year. And this is just our opinion. But we discussed it, and what we came up with is that 1, there's a gift from Santa. 2, from us as parents, we give our kids 3 gifts each. If Jesus, who is our Lord and Savior, came to this earth, was born on Christmas Day, which is what we believe as Christians, and was given 3 gifts, why do my kids need any more? And you can say, well, gosh, this, that. No, sorry, 3 gifts. And it's biblically based, in my opinion. My kids have asked us, why do we get 3 gifts? And I go, well, let's read the Christmas story. Because Jesus got 3 gifts. There you go.
And both kids understand. I mean, it's just part of our conversation.
It's just what it is.
Alex came to us last week and he's like, here's what I want, and he's got 1, 2, 3.
His 3 gifts. And we don't go overboard. We set a budget. I don't think it's wise to continue to buy kids more and more expensive gifts. I just don't see it. I think it's ludicrous that we need to give them these expensive gifts on Christmas because it's the one day a year we're supposed to buy. I just don't get it. Go let them save up their money for an expensive gift.
Well, but I think getting back to this.
Yeah, okay. So, but I know I'm off a tangent. I know I'm off on a tangent,
Okay.
but I was going to say there was a couple of years ago where Alex wanted a DS, and we said, well, save up your money. And he ended up saving it after Christmas. He got some money from some folks. He saved it and he bought a DS for himself.
He's had that thing for almost 3 years now.
Yeah, I mean, let him buy it. I'm not going to go spend $130 on him. So, especially for a Christmas gift like that. Anyways, so after that too, we had to sit down with my parents and said, look, this is what we are doing. This is what it is. This is how much we plan to spend. We discuss this with my folks, and we just say, that's it. You know, come up with an amount. My parents are pretty frugal themselves, and I'm not too sure what their dollar amount is. You know, it changes year to year depending on what's going on with them. But they have realized and understood that it's not a, hey, we're the grandparents and we are going to indulge our kids. They understand it and get that they are a part of the family and they have to listen and abide by our rules.
And I think, you know, reading this email for me, and we've said this on numerous podcasts, your parents are your parents. Your husband is your husband.
Right.
And
who do you live with?
Who do you live with? Who is your family now? You know, to become one.
Yep.
That
you
is
leave
you and your husband.
Your father.
You leave your mother and your father, you join with your husband or your wife, and that becomes the one. So you and your husband need to come together on this. Mm-hmm. And that needs to be the way things are. Your parents need to accept who you are as a married couple. And it does really sound like they're, you know, from this email, like they're trying to manipulate the family and the purse strings and things like that. And if you feel your daughter is too young for an iPod, then she's probably too young for an iPod. You know better than they do if she's going to drop it, lose it. Whatever.
I mean, you just may think it's not something that she needs right now. And as a parent, I can agree with you. My kids, you know, are 8 and 5. They don't need their own iPod. Sorry.
They've asked. Shut down.
But that's just where we stand. You know, it's cool. They can play with mine or Elisa's at times, but they do not need their own. So I agree with Elisa wholeheartedly. It is your marriage. It is you and your husband. And as tough as it might be for you, you're going to have to stand up to your folks and just tell them this is what it is. Just like everything we say, sometimes when those big conversations come about, you may want to give them a heads up and just let them know what's coming down the pipe, or you just want to sit down and let them know
you want to talk to them about Christmas gifts.
Yep.
And you know what? They don't have to get the same Christmas gift for all the grandkids.
Right.
There might be very good reasons why not to get the same gifts.
Well,
and this sounds like there are some age issues here that would obviously, you know, make sense. So in summary, you need to talk with your parents and you need to put your marriage first. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know that your daughter's going to be that upset in the long run that she didn't get an iPod, but I can guarantee you that if your daughter gets an iPod, your husband will have much more to say on the matter.
Yeah.
Than that. So
I hope that helps you guys.
There was that email, and then we had
I want to talk about Yvette.
Okay, go.
And we can't talk about Yvette in the sense of over her whole email, but I just want to say God bless you, Yvette. I mean, holy moly. This comes in, this is the subject line. Podcast listener encouragement letter. Warning, over 3,800 words. And I'm looking at my Droid and I'm going, what? And so I click on it and I'm reading through it and I'm just
spinning the rollerball.
Just flipping through the pages on this. Bless you. My goodness. If there's one email that we need to just print out and put above our desk. It's from you. This
just
wow.
I mean, I actually looked to see what it would print out as, because I was, Tony's like, this thing is huge, and it actually said it would be a 6-page document. And so, Yvette, I want to thank you for taking the time to pour your heart out to us. When I said earlier that we got some long emails this week and that we haven't had a chance to process and fully go through all of them, Yvette's is one of them. And I also want to thank you, Yvette, because your prayer at closing, just very heartfelt, and the time and energy that you put into that, absolutely amazing. So thank you, and we will be responding to you. We just need a little more time to go through that.
No, I'm just saying, you just put so many great things in here. It's awesome, and we love you for it. Mm-hmm. We really do. We hear you, what you're saying, and you know what? Just thank you.
There you go. One last email.
Sure.
We this one actually came through today from Trish, and she's a Facebook fan, and so and she said, "I'm lucky enough to be half of a pretty extraordinary marriage."
So the two together make one extraordinary marriage.
The two to one, yeah. Awesome. Which I love the way she worded that. But she talked about the fact that she and her husband got into a pretty big fight this weekend, and to the point, crying, and all kind of all the little annoyances sort of bubbled up into this much larger fight this weekend. And so the fight resolves. She goes in the bathroom, but she's still kind of emotional about it, so she's crying.
What was the fight about again? I'm trying to look here. The argument.
Oh, making a mess. It's the cleanliness fight.
Oh boy, yes.
Tony can relate. Do you want to tell the listeners about your garage?
After I cleaned it or started the cleaning?
Well, today?
Yesterday?
You started cleaning yesterday?
Yeah, I moved all the boxes up in the rafters that you just sort of put right in front of the garage, so I can't even get out.
Okay, I just like having you home. I wanted to trap you in. No, what I was wondering if you wanted to share with them the way it looked when you came home today.
Yeah, it looked clean.
Okay, just checking.
I figured. Well, here's the other thing though. When I was on my bike ride with one of my buddies, we were talking, and I was telling him, I was like, "Look, I love my wife dearly. They hear me talk about her often. I go, but my wife, she's not a pack rat, she's not a hoarder, but she's a piler." And one of my buddies is riding. He's like, "Oh my gosh, that's my wife. There are piles everywhere." I'm like, "Oh yeah, we need to get them together."
Are you sure you want to put two pilers together?
Heck, I don't know. You might pile on top of each other, and I don't know.
You're just so thrilled you came up with a new term.
Yeah. Let's put it this way, Trish. I can understand with the messy deal because it happens way too often in our house. And one thing I've had to learn as a husband to do is exactly what you said here in your email. You got to stop bottling it up. Mm-hmm. Both of you do. You guys got to let it loose. You got to talk about it as it starts to frustrate you. Because I know for myself, if I just sat around this house and simmered every time I saw a pile or a mess, I would be a mess. The anger inside of me would just take over, and I know the devil would just have his way with me. So what I end up doing instead, there are a couple things I do. One, I just act in service. I just clean. If it's bugging me, if the laundry is piling up and it's bugging me, I just do it. So that's something that you and your husband can talk about. If it's him that's getting bugged by it, then he needs to just be able to take that initiative and just go, you know what, it's bugging me. I'm going to just go do it. And I don't do it to get praise. I don't get it so Alisa goes, "Oh, honey, you did the laundry," or "Honey, you cleaned the kitchen, so let's have sex now." I just do it because I don't need it and it's bugging me. The other thing I would do is you guys got to just, when it is bugging you, just talk about it. "Hey, honey, you know what? Your clothes over there, they're starting to drive me nuts. Can you get them moved? Can you do something with them? Or my garage is now starting to drive me nuts, Alisa. It's time to tidy it up." And she'll say the same to me at times.
It's very rare. I hardly ever have to say anything to her.
It is very rare, but there are times when you do.
Yeah.
And so from just a husband's point of view, it's one of those things that I think most of us husbands need to do and realize is that there are things that happen around the house that are not just our wife's responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're one of these guys that's sitting around expecting your wife to do it all the time, then you need to wisen up a little bit and not always put it upon her. And I know you're busy, and I know you have long work days. Well, so do I. So does Alisa. We have our kids, but you make it happen. Because to me, the peace that I have inside by doing that is so much greater than me just sitting here going, well, that's Alisa's job.
Well, and I've come to a point too where, when he tells me that, you know what, it's time, that lets me know that he's at that point where we got to do it.
Yeah.
We got to do it. And so I take that, I take that for what it's worth. And that's usually when I get up and put everything else aside. The kids we didn't decorate the tree tonight because I told the kids, I said, I can't pull out more stuff and make another mess if we still have all this stuff in the garage. But the other part of this particular email that I want to get to is that, they made up, they had a very enjoyable day, and she woke up this morning still feeling a little bit off. And she, talks about the fact that, she finally figured out what it was. And it was the fact that they didn't have makeup sex. And, she was just, talking about that connection. The physical reconnection.
Right. The apology was there.
They were physical with each other, but it did not lead to makeup sex. And she puts in the question, does that seem crazy, or is the loving a crucial element to finalizing the fight or a fight? We don't often have makeup sex.
No.
So that's not a component of fights or disagreements in our marriage. Are you thinking that through, or?
I'm just trying to think the last time we had an argument and what happened. Yeah, we don't. I mean,
we have our disagreements.
We don't talk about it. We make sure that it is finished. Mm-hmm. That we have come to a conclusion, that we've said our sorries, that they're heartfelt, that we really understand that we're on the same page again.
Right.
But not necessarily having sex for us.
That's not a component of our fight dynamic.
Right.
But I know that is for a lot of couples. And so I think what this says is you guys probably just need to talk about kind of your fight rules and your fight dynamic. What are the rules when you disagree? I was talking to a girlfriend this morning, and she was saying that, when she and her husband, when they need to have a big conversation or if they've been having an argument, there are two components to theirs. One is beer and one is Oreos. And so they were having a fight this weekend, and he came home with the beer. She'd already bought the Oreos. They have this little picnic on their living room floor, and they kind of have a beer and do their Oreos thing, and they talk through whatever their problem is. But they've got rules.
Really?
I could not make this up.
Beer and Oreos. Not
necessarily the combination of beer and Oreos. It might be another type of drink, but the rule in their family is that the fight can only last as long as the drink does. So whether it's a beer or...
Wow, that's pretty cool.
But that, and after you finish the first drink, if you can wait 15 minutes, and if you need to pick it up again, you can get another drink and continue the fight.
And nothing good happens after 2 drinks. So stop at 2.
That's the rule of Jeff.
Yeah.
Right there.
I agree with him in that one.
But every couple has their own set of fight rules. How do you disagree? How do you make up? And if in this particular case, Trish, if it wasn't the way you expected it to go, then you need to have the conversation with your husband saying, honey, I missed that particular physical connection, that reconnection with you. For us, it's not a crucial element to finalizing a fight. But if it is in your marriage, then what I would say is take the lead and initiate the reconnection. If you're missing that, go get it.
But can you do that some more?
It's not a crucial element to finalizing a fight for our marriage.
No, just take the lead more.
Just take the lead more.
I think Elisa's spot on. The beer and Oreos, to me, I'm a little perplexed, but heck, whatever it is for you, that's cool. Elisa and I just don't have arguments, blowout arguments in years, so we don't have any rules. Our rules are be truthful, be honest. We're going to talk this through. At the end of it, we're going to wipe the slate clean. I still love you. I'm not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. If there's a rule in ours, we don't bring up the divorce word. It's not a part of our vocabulary. We are in this marriage 100% on both sides, and that's not an option. Mm-hmm. And you're not walking out of here. We're going to talk. You're not walking away from me, or I'm not walking away from her. I'm not going for a drive to go.
That's not to say that, if things get heated, you could be like, I need a few minutes,
right?
Or I need a little bit of time.
Us.
But it's not. But I'm saying, even for us, if things got really heated, we could say, we need a timeout. I need a timeout.
Yeah, we need some time to just air this. And
it's not we're in the middle of a conversation and somebody storms out the front door,
right? No,
and hops in the car. So I think you probably just need to initiate that reconnection.
Yeah, we got to move on here.
Okay, well, let's talk about.
Sorry, Trish, I'm not trying to blow you off, but I think that's where we are with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So the email that prompted
tonight's
episode title, and the writer has asked to remain anonymous,
which is fine.
Basically, it was a situation where.
Can I play the song?
Oh, go ahead, play the song.
All right, hold on. For you OMD fans. Okay, that's all.
Okay, everybody clap for Tony. Unless you're driving, in which case don't clap for Tony, but he loves when he does those little techie things.
It's not that I love it. It's a great OMD song from the 80s.
Yes.
For those of you who knew OMD in the 80s. Okay, anyways, secrets.
So
let's hit it.
We get this email, and the scenario is wife had friended an ex-boyfriend on Facebook.
Yep. And,
communicating, keeping things light, and then it started to escalate in terms of the conversation. It actually went so far as cell phone communication. Yes. He, not happy in his relationship, in his marriage, started playing the questioning game. What if we had ended up together? Mm-hmm. And this wife did not share this with her husband when it first started. And so as it begins to escalate and, then it starts spiraling. And then her husband finds out that this is going on. And there's a fight that ensues. And he gets mad and leaves because his trust in his wife is shaken. Mm-hmm. And, it's one of those things, and you guys have heard us talk about Facebook before, extensively. You know how we feel about friending exes on Facebook. I kind of feel like Dr. Laura here, where it's like, the rules.
Well, I think the big thing here is not just Facebook, it's secrets altogether.
It's secrets altogether.
What are these secrets that you're holding from your spouse that are detrimental to your marriage? Now, friending an ex on Facebook is becoming more and more prevalent. And so if that is happening in yours or you have friended one, I would defriend them ASAP. Sorry if you hurt their feelings, but really, I don't care about that person. I care about you and I care about your spouse. Mm-hmm. And you need to care about you and you need to care about your spouse. I really don't care about that other person. In the sense that if they're going to try to put a wedge between you two,
right?
It's not worth it in the Facebook sense. It could be money issues. Mm-hmm. I'm hiding the credit card and I'm spending over here so she doesn't know or he doesn't know that I just spent the money here. Those drive wedges between you. For Elisa and I, and this is some months back now, I kept a secret of trying to pick up women at bars.
thought you were going to drop another secret on me. I'm like, what are we talking about?
No, I got none now.
Okay.
That was the last
Like,
big.
oh.
But, that is huge. And I will tell you that secret weighed on me heavily for many, many years. And even though Alisa had no clue about it, the impact it had was huge. It took time for us to work through that. It wasn't a run-of-the-mill, oh, all right, we're over this. As much as I wanted it to be over, I wanted it to be over quick. But these secrets, they hurt us.
Well, because when you've got a secret, it's a distraction. It takes your energy away from your marriage because you have to invest energy in keeping that secret. Mm-hmm. You have to cover your tracks. You have to, you're looking over your shoulder. You're double checking and triple checking to make sure that everything is, the appearances are all being kept up. And it's a lot of wasted energy, and in the example, in this particular email, she even said to us, she goes, if I had just told him in the beginning,
mm-hmm.
Before things started to spiral, then when things got out of control, he would have known and his trust wouldn't have been shaken like mm-hmm. it was. And if you are going to, we're not about friending exes on Facebook, but if you are, tell your spouse, keep that, if you feel it's important that you friend, an ex-boyfriend, Tony is friend. Is Sarah on Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Tony's friends with one of his exes from, when he was in high school. I've met the girl.
We've had dinner with them.
Yeah. I know her. Definitely not a threat. If it had been the one from college right before me, and I found out that he was friends with her on Facebook, yeah, that one's not going to work so well for me.
Yeah. But I even told you about the time.
Yeah. This was pre-Facebook because we're ancient. But he got a random email from her.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a little ticked off that she had the nerve to email you. Because it was very much the same kind of thing. I'm like, what is she doing? She knows you're married.
Right.
What does she hope to gain by sending you an email out of the blue?
I don't know. It's been so long. I don't remember what the email said, in all honesty. I think there was some, if I can recall, there was something to the extent of however that relationship ended. But to me, I was looking at it going, really? This many years later, you're bringing this stuff up? Mm. It may have been a way for her to just, get it off her slate. For me, luckily, I have been in a relationship where I wasn't going to go anywhere, nor did I even respond back to that.
Right. But that's how things start.
Right. Oh,
for a lot of couples, they start playing that trip down memory lane, or they start, it starts with an innocuous, I'm just going to hide this one credit card bill, or I'm going to leave the extra bag of whatever I bought in the car and I'll just kind of slide that stuff in when he's not home or when she's not home, or I'm, typically it's probably money and relationships
are the big ones,
are the two big secrets. If you're keeping secrets,
and both of them are going to affect your intimacy emotionally, intellectually, physically, spiritually. It is going to have an impact in your marriage. And for the person who's going through this, you're most likely starting to pull away. So your husband or your wife may be wanting to have sex, but you're thinking in your mind there's something better over there, and you're pulling away. They realize it. They recognize it. Mm-hmm. For those of you who are hiding pornography, that is huge. You need to come out and you need to let your spouse know what's going on. For those of you who are holding alcohol, keeping that as a secret, drug usage, these are big things that are detrimental to your marriage.
The one thing I do want to say is that none of these are insurmountable.
Not at all.
I had a coffee
with the
last
power
week.
of Christ, man.
Well, and I had coffee last week with a girlfriend who, they have infidelity in their marital past. And she said, you know, the one thing that somebody said to me was that marriages survive infidelity. And she said that when this other person had said this to her, it was the first time that she thought about surviving instead of walking out the door.
Right.
And I think that's a really important decision that you have to make, and that your spouse will have to make in terms of whatever your secrets are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because we could talk about everything about hiding an extra $50 that you spent to infidelity, to drug use. I mean, secrets is a very large term, and there are a lot of things that are in there.
But each one is, the way I look at it, if you have a brick wall, every secret, no matter if it's big or small, is taking a brick out of that wall.
Absolutely.
And it's taking it out of the bottom. It's not taking it out of the top. It's taking it out of the bottom, which is where your foundation is. So $50, you still take a brick out.
See, I actually see it as building up the wall. It's putting space between you and your spouse.
Okay, you can look at it either way.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that it's still it's breaking down that foundation you have.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it's gonna topple over.
Yeah. I mean, it's a choice. You can make a choice. You know, and I told Tony, because we were talking about the fact that we've gotten all these very in-depth emails this week. And, you know, part of it I really think is because it's the holiday season and there is a lot going on in terms of, you know, you're doing stuff with your families. And so they throw all kinds of complications into relationships.
Right.
And, you know, it's a time of year when things kind of come to a head. It's a very emotional time of year. But this is also a time of year where a lot of healing can come.
Right.
And you can make the decision today when you're listening to this podcast, if there are secrets that you need to get off your chest with your spouse, then you set up one of those times to talk and say, you know, I need to set up a time with you. I need to talk to you about some things.
Right.
You know, why start 2011 with baggage from 2010? There's no need.
Yeah.
There's no need. You guys have been listening to us, some of you, for almost a year now.
Thank you.
I can't even believe I'm saying almost a year. Why not, if there are those secrets, why not choose to let the healing begin, to come clean, to know that if you are both willing to make the effort, your marriage will survive whatever your secret is, but you've got to come clean at some point in time.
Seek help.
You can't keep holding on to the secret and expecting your marriage to move forward, because it's not going to grow. Like Tony said, it's not going to grow with the foundation it needs to have if you've got, you know, one hand pulling out those bricks with all your secrets.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to make a choice. You know, we talk about this almost every week, about everything that you do in marriage is a choice. And are you going to decide now to unload yourself of those secrets in a healthy, loving way with your spouse, to say, you know what, I want us to grow together, but I need to tell you what's been going on with me.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's money, whether it's addiction, whether it's Facebook ex-boyfriends and girlfriends on Facebook, you know, or somebody that you met at the office. You know, I'm not saying purposely go out and hurt your spouse, but if you want your marriage to grow, you got to get rid of these secrets. You can't do it.
Yeah. It's so true. That's a thing that we hear a lot from folks too. It's, you know, I want this wonderful marriage like you guys have, but nobody's willing to make a change. You guys are so staunch in where you are that it's either your way or the highway. And when we talk about these secrets, you got to be willing for some change and for some hurt that you're going to have to work through together. Mm-hmm. And we don't sit here on some high, you know, chair going, hey, this is what it is, and we're so perfect. No, we've been there. We've gone through tough times of having to share our inner depths of our souls with each other, and have come out on the other end to share with you going, you can do it. Is it hard? Yes. Does it hurt? Yes. But like we talked about before about the arguments, the rule is you're not walking out, and we're not talking about divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And so we know that we're in this together. Now, if you're in a relationship where that is the D word, as we love to call it, is thrown around like it means nothing at this point in time, then you need to seek help. And for those of you that are really looking at what you have, you may need to seek a third party to be in between you guys when you discuss this, because it's not going to be good if it's just you two screaming at each other. That's not what we want here. We want the process to be that you're able to talk about it. It is now in the light of God. He can start the healing process and you can work through it. So if you're in this place and you're going, wow, Tony Alisa, this is big. This is hitting me hard. I need to do this. But if I do, it could be the walkout or the divorce. Then maybe you need to seek somebody, men, women, that you can talk to that can help you through this. And then, again, bring it up to your spouse in a timely way where you are going to let her know what's going on. And then if you need that third party in there as well while you're doing this, then so be it.
And what he meant by men, women is that you seek guidance and counsel from people of the same sex so that you don't in a vulnerable position put yourself in a situation where you're confiding in a member of the opposite sex.
Yeah.
It just has the potential for taking you further away from your goal.
And we've all heard it. We all know it. So don't put yourself there. Just don't. I mean, don't do it. It's as simple as that.
It's a choice.
Yes, it is. So
it's a choice.
I know this is a hefty one here in the holiday season, but sometimes it needs to be heard. Mm-hmm. And I think right now it needs to be heard because with the holidays upon us and the stresses and the added things that are going on in our lives during this time of year, maybe you just really need to think about what you're holding back from your spouse and how you want to start 2011.
Yeah.
Because we want you to have extraordinary marriages, you guys. We do. We want you to see and feel the excitement, the wonder that is a marriage that has gone through crap.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always rosy. It's not always perfect. Elisa and I can tell you this week wasn't the best for us. Long nights, not sleeping well, but we still get up every morning and just go, hey, I love you.
Yeah.
So during this time of year, we're going to just ask you that you think about this. Give it up. Give it up to God. Make those changes. Make those choices.
Just a couple of things right before we wrap up. One, we're still the top 10 marriage blogs.
Oh, yeah.
That competition is still going on.
Yeah, please vote for us.
So please vote. We will have the link in the show notes.
Sure thing.
Okay. We still have a few copies left of the book.
Yes.
Yes.
Blowout gets those books for $10 each.
And then if you're like me, you're doing your last minute Christmas shopping and you might be shopping online through Amazon.com. If you are, would love to have you support One Extraordinary Marriage by going through the Amazon link on our website under our resources tab. That just allows us to have, was it a commission?
Yeah, it's
an affiliate link.
It's your way to just go, hey, we love what Tony and Alisa are doing and you're buying anyway, so we appreciate the commission that we get for sending you over to Amazon.
Yeah.
It keeps the lights on. It keeps us paying the bills.
Keeps you hearing us every week.
Yeah.
So those were just a couple of things that you'll hear us mention just over the next couple of weeks. I think, is this the last week for the marriage blog contest? When does it end? The 14th?
I think so.
So you'll hear one more. You'll hear us talk about it one more time next week if you listen on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because we'll give it one last final plug. But we appreciate all of you that have voted. I know a lot of you have put up on the Facebook page that you've voted, and we thank you very much. Just go ahead. You can play the music. Have a great week, you guys. We love you.
Love you guys.
Thanks for listening to the One Extraordinary Marriage podcast. We would love to hear from you. You can go ahead and give us a call at area code 858-876-5663 or send us an email to info@oneextraordinarymarriage.com. The website is oneextraordinarymarriage.com, and while you're there, you can sign up for our Marriage Minute Monday newsletter, and you can also purchase Tony and Alisa's new book, Stripped Down. It's available now in print, audio, and ebook formats. Also, the One Extraordinary Marriage podcast has sponsorship opportunities available now. If your business is interested in sponsoring this podcast, please contact us at oneextraordinarymarriage.com.